Alright, welcome back to Danksco Traders App. Good morning. I see Julius, you're already around. Good morning. And even those who will be joining us, and of course those who will join later. Good morning. It's a beautiful morning, and we're about to get another great session, just like the one we had yesterday. So without any further ado, you know the drill. Let's get into the prayer and get started. So Father, we say thank you. Thank you for today. Thank you for your goodness. Thank you for your loving kindness. And as we start this session tonight, we ask of your goodness. We ask of your loving kindness to be part of us, Lord. As your wisdom, knowledge, and of course insight, to be able to get opportunities, signals that we can take advantage of and make this money today. We give you praise, we give you all the honor, Lord. As we start today, may your name be glorified. As we start today, Lord, may you show us great great entries that we've never gotten even before. Let us get those sniper entries in, Lord God. Let us and make this money today like never before. We give you praise, we give you all the honor. In Jesus' name we've prayed. Amen. Alright, so without any further ado, guys, you know the drill. We start with sorry. We start with a crush 500. Start with crush 500. All right, so we saw on Crash 500 yesterday, we saw wow, what, look at that sell that happened yesterday, and actually today morning, because yesterday it was still playing games. Remember, I told you I will be looking for this kind of a buy, then later sell it. Those who were here yesterday, you remember that was a buy that I took and I gave you yesterday. Those who are on VIP signals, you remember I gave you that buy move when price came here. This was my entry there. So we went for that buy and it hit our target, but then I did not enter the sell. I didn't want to overtrade, so I did not enter the sell, but the sell was the perfect move that we needed to enter. Why? Because it was our general trend. Look at that. This was a pullback trade that we wanted all the way back to that trend line. That is why we bought from this level here according to M15 and M5. So we were supposed to enter sales there. So those who were here yesterday and wanted to sell, you should have made this perfect sell yesterday. This would have been your first TP when it spiked again. But then later in the night, before we actually, I think during midnight there, or around 1 p.m, you should have gone again into this market for the sell. And look at that now, we have hit the target. Our first TP here, you remember this was the yellow there according to H4. This was our target here, those who remember. Why? Because of this move right there. That was the move there for the first TP. So now this we no longer need, or this can now go delete. And now we know that that first TP has been hit. It has reached this order block. But look at this current H4 candle. It has a good momentum. It has not even reversed at all for the past, let's see, actually not the current H4, the current daily candle, but the these previous H4 candles, you can see their momentum, the way they've been moving without any interruption. That shows you how big or how strong the sell momentum is still is. So apparently I'm looking at what I'm seeing on CCI. We've reached that retracement level, but looking at this weekly fair value gap that we had already anticipated that sales will come to grab this liquidity on this fair value gap, I believe we are going to continue seeing sales according to what I'm seeing, according to this current momentum that we are seeing. This H4, this current H4 is remaining with about 18 minutes to close. So meaning the next H4 is likely to come and grab this liquidity right here. Then we can start to think of getting back into buys. Remember, we are in an uptrend according to weekly time frame. We are in an uptrend according to weekly time frame. Why do I say that? This is where we saw the change of character right there. That's where we saw the change of character. This was a low, a high, then a low, then this high was taken out by this move here, which went up ahead to give us a high there. So if price reacts to this fair value gap, it will be giving us a higher low. That means we'll be coming in to look for a higher high according to according to weekly time frame. So all that, now that we know all that, let's now head over let's first delete these. We don't need them. And now let's now head over to boom 1000. So about right now, according to what I'm seeing, of course you can see even on M15 you have break of structures right there. Break of structure. He had a break of structure there, so it's still very hard for us to make any decision right here, unless this is on H1. Unless H1 tries to give us a pullback there, and then we get in with sales again later. But if we don't see any pullback, then it may be hard for us to actually enter any sales. So I would anticipate something like this for me to look for any sales later, but I can't trade it now. I can only wait. If price gets above our 10 MA, we may go for this pullback trade like we did yesterday for the pullback, but then after that we may continue with sales just like we need according to H4 and daily time frame. So for now, no business, let's be patient. Boom 1000. Let's talk about boom 1000 now. Boom 1000 yesterday, you remember we entered sales from here, we entered sales from there, then I moved out when market reacted around here. That's when I moved out again. Then I waited, I made another entry, I think around here. Then I was holding, but only to come back during the this morning to find I was taken out around this area. You see, yeah, I was taken out around that area. This was the last entry. I don't know why these ones are not showing, because I had entered others right here, so I was taken out like that. So I missed, I was taken out. I missed my perfect entry. So now all this is not needed, but that doesn't mean the move is not on. Let's first delete all this right here. Delete all that. That was yesterday's analysis. So let's look at today. So this is boom 1000. Price according to H1, it is overbought right there. And if we can actually start from the daily, you will see that. Let's go even to weekly. Now this was a weekly anticipation some days back, I think it's like a week back, when we analyzed, and I told you we are likely to see when price breaks out of this move. I don't know why I deleted it, but it was like this. When price moves out of this triangle, this is an ascending triangle. When price moves out of that, breaks out above that ascending triangle, we will eventually see price to look for that liquidity right about there, which will be our premium zone right about there. We have a fair value gap above there, which it can actually look for, or just to grab every around this level right here. So we are seeing the buy momentum continuing, and right now I doubt that we are going to see actually buys. Why do I say we are going to see, I doubt we are going to see sales? Why do I say that? Looking at this level where price broke structure from, you can see where price broke this trend line from and structures at the same time. It gave us a pullback to test after that breakout, and now we know it is now having a strong buy momentum. Why? Because it has already given us this retest to the break of structure right here. One can say that is a retest to the break of structure right there. So if we know that, then we know according to H4 we may be having yes, the signal that we are seeing on CCI shows that we should be looking for sales, but apparently the way we are seeing it, if price breaks those high, if price breaks that high, then you know we will not see any sales if price breaks that high. So I want to first delete this. There's a lot of lines in here. I want to delete this Fibonacci tool. Then let's go up here, let's go to H1. First take out these, let's make them a bit smaller. Now what we need is price to break, what we need is price to break that level right there. Once price breaks it, then we will be ready for the buy. But if we don't see price break it, then we'll have issues. We'll have to look for some sales. It's still unpredictable where it is, but according to weekly, I've already shown you that it's gonna continue with buys. According to H1, look at this, the current momentum, the current structure is an uptrend. The current structure is an uptrend. Why? This was a change of character. This is a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, then here, then now we have a higher high there, higher low here. Price is trying to come again to try to take out the higher high, but it is sort of failing. Why? Because of this previous high is there, meaning we have a resistance up there. So for it to break it, it may have to first try to look for some liquidity down below here, either here or to this fair value gap that it has left here according to H1. I don't know what this is. Let me first see it. Okay, that was a previous thing. So right here according to H1 we have our fair value gap right there, and price has not mitigated it to 50%. So price can easily first come to this 50% of this fair value gap and try to go again to take this out, to take this resistance out. So now that we know all this, then we can now think of going to our M15. Now let's look at M15. M15 is actually giving us a break of structure right here. That's a break of structure, not a strong one to follow now, but we can wait to make any decisions. If price goes below a 10 MA probably on M15, then you can enter this sell to bring you to this fair value gap and grab that liquidity. So for now, no business. I will have to wait for a fair something like this pull back there to fail to get that high, and then entry when price goes below my 10 MA. So let's go to M5, see that, yeah, so it's still pulling down. It's going to still continue down according to M15 and these other time frames, but then it will reach a point when it will have to make another pullback like that. So I'm going to anticipate something like this, yeah, then I can come in with the sell later. So apparently that is if this buy move here fails to break this high, then I can come in with a sell. But if it breaks that high, then that means we are likely to see a breakout on this resistance level, which will push us to continue with the buys. So for now, no business at Boom 1000. I've spoken a lot on Boom 1000. Let's now head over to Boom 500. I hope you guys are with me here and you can see what we are talking about. All right, Boom 500. Yeah, Boom 500. Remember yesterday I told you we are likely to first continue with that. First continue to reach that order block, and then we come in with a sell. In fact, it continued, but then it gave a fake breakout to take the stop losses of the early sellers, and it also took mine there because I entered around here yesterday. I entered some sells around there and it took me out, and then look at that, what it did. It gave us a change of character there, but it's not yet a confirmed one. That means it's still having a low momentum until it gives you something like this to confirm this sell move that we need. Then we can come back here with our buy momentum, which we want from this order block. So for now, I will have to be patient. Let's go to H4. Let's see. Yeah. All right, so let's go to M15. So M15, what is happening? All right, so M15 is still selling actually, but down here we have something like a what? We have something like a support. So it's likely to come from there and then push that, and then we come in with a sell. But as for now, you clearly see that price is what? Price is in a downtrend. Clearly on M15, this is a break of structure there. It has given us a lower low here, a lower high there, so it's coming to give us a new lower low down below. Clearly you see that it is already in a downtrend, but it may give us this pullback later today. So like in the next H4 candle, we may see this pullback happening. So for now, just hold on until probably if it breaks this level. If it continues and breaks this level, then you enter immediately. But if it fails to break it and gives you this pullback, then you wait and enter right from around there. So for now, hold on. V25S, this played games yesterday. It played games yesterday. Vol 25 1S. It played games. First took the stop losses. So let's first look at it yesterday. So this was yesterday. We wanted a sell from there, and I had already entered, so it took me out right here and then went all the way back to that change of character level, and then from there I entered again and took my profits around here, I think. Yeah, I didn't hold to read the whole night, so I took my profits around there to recover the losses I made here. So that was yesterday, and now it has failed. Look at this. It's still a strange momentum for us here. Let me first delete all that. Now looking at this, we clearly see that price has failed to break this previous low here to actually continue with a downtrend, just like we had anticipated, to come to this fair value gap here or there. But now we clearly see that the momentum, it has gotten a weird momentum from this angle here, and now it is pushing for more buys. And clearly one can say this is a double top, a double bottom, and now we have a change of character or our neckline right there. So meaning price has gone all the way into the buy trend. So now I may first delete these two I will hold these right here because these are still points of interest. Price can always come back for them, so let's just hold them there for H4. All right, so remember here we had already known that we are in an uptrend according to CCI, but we wanted this pullback to grab liquidity there and then continue with an uptrend. Unfortunately, it has not reached where we thought it will reach. So looking at daily time frame, first delete these. Looking at daily time frame, price is going to come to this level, this fair value, this resistance level, and then from there we are likely to see this pullback, and this is likely to happen according to daily time frame, and it will be coming to grab this fair value gap right there, meaning this would be the ideal level for the pullback. And once it does this, let's see the general trend. The general trend is a sell. Yeah, the general trend is a sell according to weekly. It's weird. This is weird. So if this happens and goes there, then comes here to grab this liquidity, this is likely to be something different than what I was anticipating. This would be the anticipation to give us a fake breakout up there, then later to continue with sales. So I want you to remember this structure. This is a general kind of structure according to daily time frame and weekly. Looking at that and this structure that we have already on the weekly time frame. So going back to H4, the buy momentum is still on. Look at that previous H4, and now we've started a new H4, and it is also still strong. So we've just seen this on H1, so I think we will likely see a pullback, and then we can enter our buys later. So for now, I have no business with this asset. I'm not going to trade it at all unless I get a pullback. I don't need this now. Yeah, unless I get a pullback, I'm not going to trade this asset. Until it starts to look for the pullback, probably to such levels. So for now, no business. I will hold my entry for the sales. I will be looking for sales, and then later continuation of buys. That's what I'll be looking for. So according to M15 and M30, sales are coming in anytime from now. Sales will be coming in. It may first go for that. Yeah, may first go for that, but entering right here, it's a tricky thing for us to do, to enter any buys here to continue. That means you'll be risking a lot, so you rather leave it. But if you're a risk taker, you can use your Bollinger here. You can use your Bollinger band and try to see. Oh no, it's very yeah, according to H4 actually you could continue with it. but this H4 should be giving us this pullback, this current H4. So it's likely to first give us that as a wick, short wick there, then continue with a sell. So I would be looking for sales actually here. We may not actually reach this move here that I was not talking about. We may not see it. It's likely to just give us a wick for like 1 hour or 30 minutes, and then it comes for this pullback. So for now, no business. All right, enough for V25S. Let's now talk about V75. This one, I gave it to my VIP signal platform, but then it still played games. It was giving a pullback, weird movement, but then later still changed. So yesterday it was a bit messy. It was even slow. It had a low momentum, you know. So I made money, closed them, then waited for this other entry, waited for that other entry, but I entered around here. I was late to enter. Then it made a pullback, tried to take me out because I had put a tight stop loss and allowed it to close me out. And then later it pushed. That was late in the night. It pushed for the sell that we wanted, and you can see the TP level was hit. Those who remember, yesterday's structure was initially not here. It was not here initially. It was actually around here like that, and this, I think, and like this, I think it was like that, yesterday's structure. So that's what happened. I was taken out around there when it moved like that. It's taken out, and now after moving out, having taken me again the second time, then late night it went for that move for the sell that we already had anticipated yesterday. So now today morning I reanalyzed and I saw the structure that is clear. This was the clear structure that we currently have. Apparently this is a clear structure that we currently have. So what does this mean? Remove this, remove that, delete. Remember, I told you we are still in a downtrend according to weekly, daily time frame, and currently even H4. Yeah, we are still in a downtrend. Why? This is a break of structure, break of structure, break of structure here, break of structure right here. So we are still very strong with the downtrend, even though it has a low momentum, but yeah, we are in a downtrend. Now let's talk about daily time frame. Now according to daily time frame, this will be taken as our break of structure right there. This will be taken as our break of structure right there. And clearly today has started as a strong day. That is where we saw this move start from. This move here. This move is when the new day started, on that very candle. That is when the new day started. If you want to confirm, I can show you here. This was 23, 24, 1, 2, 3. Yes, that is when the day started, around there, here and there. That is when the day started, a new day. That's why you can see this candle here. You're seeing it that strong right there. All right, so enough of this. Clearly, if we have a structure like this, you guys know that it always follows the previous trend. It always moves following the previous trend. That is what we know. That's what we've been seeing. And I already shown you a weekly structure. Let's even go to daily. I've already shown you that it's likely to come to this. This is our ultimate TP level for us to at least start to think of buys on this asset. So if price reaches here, I wouldn't start to look for any sells. I would actually pause and wait for the buyers to come through. So for now, sellers are still holding the say, or they're still holding the general sentiment of the market. We are still bearish, so it's quite something that we cannot easily now try to look for any buys unless you are scalping, yeah, because clearly you can see if it is moving within this kind of a channel, then price can eventually give us a pullback up for the buys, but not for so long, knowing that anytime sellers will come in strongly. So apparently, looking at what I'm seeing on H1 and M15, yeah, it's quite hard for us, but the buy is likely to come through right here. Having seen that, the buy is likely to come through after this consolidation. The buy is likely to come through after that consolidation. So for now, be patient. You want to enter your buy probably if price breaks that level, then you can enter your buy. But if it fails, no, I don't think it will fail. There's that kind of liquidity left there, so it can easily come for that, and then it gives us a continuation of sells. So whatever you do, just hold, but I'm anticipating buys from that level there. All right, so enough of this. This is on V75. We can wait. J50, jump 50. All right, so J50 continued just like we anticipated, even though I did not trade it, but that was yesterday's anticipation. Buys to continue. Why? Because of this move right there, and so the buy continued until it hit the TP there, and now clearly we see that sales have started immediately. Sales began there, but of course they cannot just continue like that. They had to confirm the sell momentum or the sell trend. So for the market to confirm the sell trend, you know what it does? It has to give us a reversal signal, and most of the times the reversal signal that I always rely on is a change of character kind of signal. So now for us to confirm this is H1, you need something like that, you know, and then pull back as usual. This pullback normally, most of the times it can come to that, but it also can come all the way back there if there is any liquidity left back. So that's most of the times why I leave it here, just in case it does come around there. So for now, we know that the downtrend is what we should be looking for according to H1, according to H4. Let me see, according to daily, not really. Daily is not yet ready. Why? Because we have a break of structure there. So daily is still bullish. So it means we still have a long way for us to actually start to say we are in a downtrend. Daily is still bullish. And price according to H4 is still above our 10 MA, meaning buyers still have a say in this market. So don't rush into looking for sales now, just hold on. I may not trade this asset the whole of today, yeah, from what I've just seen. The way the momentum is weird here. So that's it. I cannot trade this asset. There is rejection coming in from from sellers up here on those candles, as you can see. That is rejection coming in from sellers trying to push for sales. But then the previous H1, we also saw buyers coming in strong to push back for buys, to push back price into the uptrend. But of course, you already know the trend according to H4 and daily time frame is still a bullish trend. Why? Because that is a break of structure both on H1, on D1 and H4. So you need to understand that and just hold on to make anything any mistake around that level. So remember, if it decides to come back, this could be an ideal level for on H4 being a fair value gap right there. But of course, looking even on daily time frame, you may get another perfect level for that kind of a pullback. So for now, no business. Leave this asset alone. Probably you can leave it on H1 and move. Let's move to J25. Remember yesterday I told you the market is having a low momentum, so it was without a doubt that I made some losses. I don't know about you guys, but some of these I made some losses, but this was not one of those. You remember, guys, I told you I think our entry was either around here. Let's see, yesterday. Yes, my entry was around here yesterday. Those who remember, my entry was around here. So I made an entry here, but then it made a pullback, and I told you I would add in another trade. And look at that, it failed to break that. My stop loss was below here. So it came and started the buy. So I took my profits actually when it came around here. When it came around there, because I didn't want to stay in overnight, so I closed my trades yesterday around there. So for now, we need to look at today. So let's look at today. So this is H4, H1, H4. All right. So now I believe, remember, we've been looking for buys for quite like a week. For like a week, we've been waiting for these buys to come through, and we are sort of now getting a glimpse of the buys, because it's been having a low momentum for quite some time. But now we can say we are sort of getting that glimpse, but it's failing still to break that level. It's failing to break that level. So I wouldn't rush into much of buys anyway. So according to H1 and M15, sellers are coming in. Are they going to come in strong? I doubt. But let's go to H1 and H4, try to see according to Fib where this move may actually return to. There's no fair value gap, no significant fair value gap that was left down below. This is a new H4 has just started, and it has started as a sell. All right. So it's gonna be weird, but we can follow this right here on H1, price to come to that OB. Why do I say that? Because of this one right here, this move right here, where we saw this change of character. So that's another block on the change of character level where the buy momentum regained some where the buy move regained some good momentum to push for this move. So about now, I cannot think of any other better level than this for a pullback before we can see probably price come in strong to break this resistance up here. So for that case, and remember this very level, according to it, was matching with our fib retracement level or discount zone. It is at 61.8, you can see. So price can eventually come to that and then give us that kind of a buy that we need, so that we can see probably a breakout on this resistance level, and that would do us good because we will know now that we are now fully in an uptrend. So right about now, I can't think of some good long-term buy moves until I see a breakout there. So even on M15, you can see the sell is struggling to continue. Why? Because we've sort of started a buy move or a buy trend. So this is just like a pullback. It's just like a pullback. So I may have to wait for probably H1 to be below our 10 MA for me to actually enter this asset for the sell. Yeah, that's what I may have to wait for if I want to enter a sell today. All right, our second last asset is J10. We have about 10 minutes to close today's session. So J10 yesterday. All right, so this happened, and then the pullback has gone all the way up to look for the highs. So if we go to H4, sales should be coming in. Really? No, we just have to hold on. Why do I say that? The signal that we're getting from CCI is different, and clearly you can see it gave us a pullback here, and now it is continuing all the way in the uptrend, unless if it fails to break these levels. But as of now, clearly on H1 we are overbought, which means sellers may come through, but we are not yet overbought on M15, meaning buyers still have the say. So let's go to daily. Daily is still strongly in a buy trend. So for this case, I cannot do anything. In fact, it's a no-go for me. It's a no-go for me on this asset. It's a no-go for me on this asset. The general trend is an uptrend currently, both on H4 and H1, and of course M15. We are looking at an uptrend, but daily time frame, or even daily time frame, is an uptrend. But the reason why we're not seeing a pullback of a sell move is because weekly hasn't reached that retracement level according to CCI. So we are still waiting for it to reach it, then we can work with that pullback to grab this liquidity on fair value gap, and then we can come in with buys from this level. This is the general outlook, or the general setup of a higher time frame. So for now, that's why I'm holding on. Because we need it to come to this. So for now, this move is on. This move is what we are currently seeing. we were supposed to enter yesterday, that buy there, we should have entered that buy there to push for this move, but we failed. I can say I failed because I did not come back to the charts to look at J10 because I was in other charts. So for now, no business. I will wait for price to either give me another pullback or to break that level, and then I enter more buys to push price to reach there before we can start to think of selling it all the way back to this level. All right, that's it on J10. Let's now work on gold, and we call it a day. Gold, so gold yesterday, I said I can only enter buys when I see a pullback here, which never happened. So it continued with a buy, but look at those previous 3 hours, oh no, previous 2 hours. Look at that, it gave us a pullback. To where? To this conference area right there. Gave us a pullback to that conference area. So are we going to see some buys here? We may not. Looking at M15, we may actually get in with some buys, and remember, the general trend is still a buy trend. But looking at H4, this is where we saw a break of structure, so meaning it can easily come all the way here. Since it is in a pullback, it can easily come all the way here, since it has given us a higher high. So it is very likely to come to that level, to grab that on the breaker block, and then take us back to look for another higher high. So that is of course according to H4, and yeah, even H1, even daily time frame. So here, according to M15, it's likely to give us something like this. According to M15, come back to that and fails to break it, and then give us this sell that will break this conference area, which can now be called a support area, and then come to this on H4, come to that breaker block on H4, and then we get in with the buys later, both on H1 and H4. Then we get in with the buys later, because that's where we saw our break of structure, meaning this level is our breaker block level, or this candle here is a breaker block candle. So the buy is on, I think it is according to M1 and M5, but wait for the confirmation when M5 is above our 10 MA for you to enter this scalp move to push price all the way up there according to M15. So wait for M5 to be above our 10 MA for your entries, because you don't want to risk it. You don't want to risk it. Perfect. I think that's it for today. I hope you guys had a great time. Let's do a recap, and we call it a day. So we started with today is the 30th. Tomorrow, remember, we are closing the month today, and tomorrow we are starting a new month, which is October. So if you want to again register for the VIP and subscribe for the VIP signals, it's your time. This is a day you should be subscribing for the signals. The information is on your screen, but also those who want to join the class, the mentorship class, this is also the day to do that, to start to register for the class and come in. Anyway, besides that, let's work on the recap and we close today's session. So we started with crash. This pullback is on and I think we can enter it now. Price is above our 10 MA. Is it a short pullback? It is a short pullback. Can we enter it really? Isn't it risky? It is actually risky. So what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? So normally in cases like this, I do this and I look for my TP around 50% there, so meaning I can enter and aim for this 50%. Alright, so my 50% is right here, is right there. So if I'm entering this buy move, it means I cannot exceed here. It means I cannot exceed there. So can I enter now? A new H4 has started, so it means I can enter. It means I can enter and have my stop loss just below here. And then my TP is just gonna be right there. It's just gonna be right there. This is one of those that it's a risk to enter. Why? Because it is a pullback trade, because the general trend is a sell, but we are looking for that kind of a pullback. So in fact your first TP should be around here. That would be your first TP. For you not to risk much, you should be looking for your first TP around that level. This would be like the second TP. So you can take partial profits when market reaches there. If it does, if we don't see price, weirdly get another pullback candle to actually take us out here, because the general trend is a sell. The general trend is a sell. So you rather, the best move you can do right here is to wait for the sells, not the buys, because this is just a pullback. And normally the best move, the best rule when you're trading is to always trade according to the trend. Those who I teach, normally you know that I tell you that trade according to the trend, meaning you wait for this to come through, then you enter the sells, because that is the general trend, and that means you'll be trading according to the trend. All right, so I've just locked in my buys. It's a pullback. It's for riskers. If you're not a risk taker, don't trade something like this. Just wait for the sales to again come through, then you can continue with sales. But as of now, I've locked in the buys, and with crash, buys are always that slow. All right, boom 1000, we are anticipating this kind of a move, and then we come in with sells, and this sell is also a pullback sell, is also likely to be a pullback sell. But remember, looking at H4, price is failing to break this, so we are hoping that if price reacts to this fair value gap according to H1, then it may actually get enough momentum to go all the way and break this resistance and give us a new higher high, because according to weekly, we are still looking for that move. This move right here, right there, is what we need, which will be the premium zone for us to later consider getting ourselves in. Right. All right, so that is it on this asset. So we need this, but yeah, we need that according to M15. So I don't know if we're going to see it. but if it fails and I don't enter the sell, then I will wait for buys right here on this fair value gap according to H1. Boom 500. Yeah, that move happened but did not reach where we wanted it, so still a no-go for me. V25S, yeah, we are anticipating this pullback. We are only waiting for price to be below 10 MA on M15, then we can enter this pullback. And I've already told you about pullbacks, you don't have to force them. If you feel like it's risky for you, don't enter them. Just wait for when the market gets back to the general trend, and then you can enter according to the general trend. V75, you can see it has out of nowhere gotten the weird momentum and broken out of that support on M15 there, so clearly I cannot look for any buys. Now you can see it is even giving us something like a fake breakout on this trend line, but we can wait and see if it is actually going to be a fake breakout or it's going to be a real breakout to continue with sales. So for now, no business here. J50, I will wait for something like this for me to make any entries, because this is jump. Anything can happen. It can jump back into buys, and we've seen that happen several times. So I'm still skeptical to make any moves here. So for now, no business. J25, yeah, the sell, yeah, the sell is on, and still waiting for H1 to be below my 10 MA, because J25 is risky, is very high volatile and risky, so I rather wait for H1 than M15 this time. M15 is already below my 10 MA but with low momentum, so I have to get a confirmation on H1 for me to make that decision. J10, we have to wait for it. It's a no-go for me, because I have to wait for this price to actually break out here, and then we can continue with buys, because it's likely to continue. We are likely not to see a pullback here, so that's why I did not even give you any option for the pullback here, because the momentum is still strong for buyers, but I cannot enter. Yeah, that's weird for me to enter here. Lastly is gold. I have a breakout here on this support, on this conference area. So what does that mean? That can we enter sales now? I think I have to wait for buys than sales now. Yeah, I may have to wait for buys than sales, because that's the move that we wanted. We wanted a pullback there, but now it is continuing, so that means I can no longer enter sales. I can only wait for buys right here, because that move has continued. All right, I think that's it for today. I hope you guys had a great time. Hey Levi, thank you for coming around, and the rest of you guys. So right about now, allow me to close. Remember to like, give us that thumbs up if you've not done it yet, and of course go ahead and subscribe if it is your first time here to come around. Otherwise, let me wish you guys a good day. Happy trading. It's the market is still slow. I don't know what is happening in the market this week. It's not like last week, how the first 2 days were. So let's wait and see if it will actually pick up the momentum to give us some good money before the week ends. Have a good day. Bye-bye. Oh, today we're having a BTC analysis, so keep around and wait for the notification for the BTC analysis. See you guys. Bye-bye.